Across Europe, Ukraine's allies are now openly divided, with one camp demanding a fresh surge of weapons and military aid while another argues the time has come to test talks with the Kremlin and explore a negotiated end to the war. UK Foreign Secretary Yvette Cooper has planted Britain firmly in the hawkish camp, urging partners to double down on support for Kyiv instead of drifting toward new diplomatic overtures that could reward Moscow's aggression. On January 15, Cooper publicly dismissed the French-Italian push to reopen outreach to Moscow, rebuffing proposals from Paris and Rome for renewed dialogue with Vladimir Putin as premature and strategically misguided. She instead called on European states to send more heavy weapons and tighten sanctions, insisting that only increased military and economic pressure can raise the cost for Russia and shift the balance toward a just peace. Speaking to Politico, Cooper said she sees no sign that Vladimir Putin genuinely wants peace, arguing that without clear evidence of a change in Moscow's intentions, talk of new negotiations risks simply legitimizing continued Russian aggression. UK Foreign Secretary Yvette Cooper told Politico, "I think what we need is evidence that Putin actually wants peace, and at the moment, I'm still not seeing that. Western Europe must put increased pressure, economic pressure, and also through the military support to Ukraine, that military pressure on Russia as well." This debate is unfolding just as France and Italy argue that the time has come to reopen direct talks with Russian President Vladimir Putin, casting dialogue as essential if Europe wants a real say in any future peace arrangements. French President Emmanuel Macron has said that Europe must once again negotiate directly with Putin, insisting that engaging the Kremlin as soon as possible is necessary to shape a settlement rather than simply reacting to US-led diplomacy. Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni has backed Macron's line, urging the appointment of a single special EU envoy to Moscow so Europe can speak with one voice to Putin instead of sending mixed signals through many competing channels. In Paris and Rome, officials quietly fear that if Washington brokers a Ukraine peace deal alone, core EU interests will be sidelined, so they want Europe at the main table rather than watching from the sidelines as others decide the war's endgame. Donald Trump has repeatedly claimed that Russia is ready to strike a deal, and has gone so far as to accuse President Volodymyr Zelensky of blocking peace, a narrative that unsettles many European leaders who see Moscow as the primary aggressor. Most Western leaders have kept Putin largely isolated diplomatically since 2022, yet Trump reopened direct engagement, including a high-profile summit and renewed contacts that signaled a stark break from years of no-talks orthodoxy. Russian officials, for their part, have accused the United Kingdom of deliberately dragging out the war for geopolitical gain, alleging that London wants a long conflict to weaken Russia and cement its own influence within NATO. Moscow insists it has repeatedly offered talks on what it calls legitimate security concerns, and it blames Western capitals for blocking peace by arming Ukraine and rejecting any settlement that would reflect Russia's demands. Putin portrays Russia as backing a multipolar world order that supposedly respects the sovereignty of smaller states, framing his stance as a challenge to what he describes as Western dominance and one-sided rules. He says he still hopes Western capitals will eventually accept the need for comprehensive security settlement with Russia, one that in Moscow's view would freeze territorial lines and redefine Europe's security architecture for years ahead.